Hey everybody, welcome to this week's lab where we're going to be focusing on this question. Is social distancing an effective means of reducing a pandemic? And so for you, you'll be coming up with a claim that's based on that question, the evidence, which you're going to be gathering utilizing a website, which you're going to be jumping into in a bit, as well as reasoning, where you take your evidence, take the data that you gathered, and then use it to either support or refute that claim that you created for the question. So let's just jump on in to the lab, and we're going to be using the one that's on learner.org. We're going to want to switch our lesson to pandemic, and that way I can kind of talk a little bit about what's going on here. So we have some settings. One, we have this area right here that's going to talk about the amount of days and just give you the raw data of what's happening. We're going to have a visual display with the population. Okay, you're going to see that there's some color coding, where green means that these are individuals that are at risk, red is the contagious, the blue is immunity, and then the black means death. And then we're going to have a visual graph that's here in the population immunity chart. Okay, we're going to have some simulation parameters which we're going to be able to manipulate to create the settings that we need to. And then we have this pause, run, stop, things like that. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. So we're gonna have 4 different ones. We're gonna be working with 4 different illnesses. We're gonna have the cold, we have the influenza, we have measles, as well as Red Death. I think you can kind of determine which of these real world scenarios these kind of relate to. And so we're gonna just start with the cold. And so to kind of get into this social distancing lab, we're going to have to work with 2 different types of settings. So to create social distancing, we're going to want to have a population density that's low. So individuals are trying to reduce the amount of time they're out and about. And then we're going to have the mixing being low as well, so that individuals are not going out and about, and then they're not interacting with each other on a daily basis. Okay. If we want to reverse those settings, or just say like we have a city or a metropolis, so we just switch the population density to high, and then the population mixing to high. Okay, and so that would be like the max amount of just people congregating and interactively moving around. Okay, and then we're not going to have any vaccinations. We're just going to let this run and see what happens. So I'm going to switch it actually to medium. I don't want to give you any results right now. You're gonna let that run, and let it run for the 100 days, and boom. So what we have here is now we can see our graph. We can kind of see what's going on with individuals who are at risk. We can see what's going on with the amount of immunity, as well as contagious, and death too. It's there, don't worry, it's the common cold. So we don't have anyone that died. You can also see the data right out here at the top right. Okay, and so you're going to want to make graphs and maybe a table for each of the different 4, and make one with social distancing, one without. And then what I want you to do is also go ahead and create your own illness, and you can do that right here. I want you to come up with a school appropriate name, like, I don't know, like Harrington's I don't know. Just making names up here. And then contagious or sick, I would make mine like 14 days, transmission rate of about 50%. And I want this one to cause death. Okay, so maybe this one will cause like 30% death. Then we're gonna go ahead and apply that. So now you can see that the settings have changed a little bit. I'm gonna keep it on medium because I don't wanna make a low or high just to kind of give you away anything. But then go ahead and let it run for the 100 days, okay? And you can kind of see how it all interacted. And so for mine, it did have that 29.8, just ticking right around the amount of death percentage I was looking for. And was it the amount of death? Yes, it was. And so it was there. So that's pretty nice to know, okay? All right, with that, you're going to collect your data. Make sure you visually display it. If you want to draw out these graphs, you can definitely draw them out, take a picture, upload them to your doc, or maybe you can draw it digitally if some of you have tablets or some type of writing utensil at home, or if you want to recreate these graphs in Sheets and add it onto here, you can definitely do that. There's a really great way to import Google Sheets into Google Docs as well, and then use that to support or refute your claim. If you want to take another step forward and do some research to see what academia is out there, there's a lot of great access through the library of academia that kind of shows if social distancing is an effective means of reducing a pandemic. So with that, I wish you all the best of luck and stay classy.